Okay, Jake, coming into camp, the first thing that I saw is I thought you were a little bit too wide with your feet, with your setup, okay? In the game of football, we need our feet up and under us for balance, leverage, mobility, and power, all the things that football is all about, okay? A normal football stance, a little wider than the shoulders, right? A snapping stance is probably going to be 4, 6, 8, maybe even in extreme cases 10 inches wider than a regular stance, just because we need some extra room between the legs so we don't encounter any resistance as we throw the ball, okay? Now, the wider you get, though, if you get wider than that, you're going to run into some troubles. Number one, the wider you get, the harder it is to get down into the stance. You're going to have a high center of gravity. Number two, you could end up with tension in the hip flexors. It'll tighten you up and slow you down, okay? Number three, the wider you get, the harder it is to actually channel the leg drive back into the hips so we can capture that lower body motion energy and channel it into the snap, all right? The fourth thing is, you're going to lack mobility after the snap because you don't have your feet up and under you. And a quick path to a short career, number 5, is if you end up with locked knees and somebody falls down and hurts you. That could really be a bad thing. So let's get those feet up and under you a little bit. Come line up on the ball. Let's see what you're looking like now. One thing we found is if you point the toes slightly outward and then push the knees over the toes as you sit into the stance, it should give you plenty of operating room. Go ahead and stand over the ball. Let's see what your stance width looks like right now. Does that feel comfortable? Mm-hmm. Okay, reach out and grab the ball. Important thing is make sure there's never any pressure on the hip flexors there, okay? Go ahead and stand up and step over to the other side of the ball again, right over here. The other things that we saw coming in was you were ground. We call that spider when you get way down low and there's just no operating room underneath your body, okay? All right? So in the process of doing that, you're ending up underextended because you're so close to the ground, you got a lot of bend in the elbow, so you can't make a complete throw, okay? Front end's too low, not any operating room. You also hunker down on the back. Your knee bend is way beyond 90 degrees. Not a sound position to start from because you can't be quick and explosive in that position. 90 degrees or less is kind of the general rule on the back end, all right, so that we can really explode upward like a squat motion, all right? The other things that I saw beyond that being hunkered down, we need to basically take your whole hunkered down body, take this head to tail platform, raise it higher off the ground by unbending the legs. You see what I did there? Make yourself bigger in the stance. That's all we're doing, all right? Then we're simply going to shift your weight till the knees are right over the toes and you're perfectly balanced. The other things we saw coming in is your wrist was really extremely cocked and you're scraping the ball along the ground as you come through, okay? That's going to create friction and slow down your snap. It might help you keep from throwing high, but it's going to really weaken your snap overall. What I'd like to do once we've raised you up, maybe uncock the wrist a little bit and focus on really trying to throw the ball through there cleanly. One thing you can experiment with is what degree of ball tilt you want to have, because you might find that tilting the ball less or more will allow you to make a cleaner take through. Okay? Then the last thing we've got is your guide hand, actually your throw hand, I misspoke. Strengthen your throwing hand grip. And what I mean by that, you were initially coming into camp with this thumb about right there. Really no way to hold the football, okay? The opposable thumb is the great miracle of our species, right? And also the great apes, but anyway, I'm joking. So what I mean by strengthen that thumb is take that thumb and oppose it to the rest of the hand so you've got it around the ball and you can actually grip it and squeeze it and throw it as you release. Does that make sense? Okay, hop in here. We're going to 3-step you real. Get you lined out just right. I may borrow that ball from you too here in just a second. You ready? First thing I do is pull you forward, get your knee bend to 90 or less, straightens the back, fully extends the arms. Then I raise you up, maximizing operating room under the torso. When you get pads on, you're going to appreciate that space, okay? Then I'm going to push you back into the hips towards your target, not down to the ground, till the heels touch the ground, knees are over the toes, you're solid on your feet. How does that feel? Does that feel comfortable?
Yeah.
I may have you a little tall on the back, so if you feel like you need to adjust it, go ahead.
Pretty good.
Perfect setup leads to a perfect snap because everything goes where it should, which is down the spine and up the legs into the hips and straight towards your target. That was excellent. Still a little bit of a scrape. I'm going to play around with that this time, okay?
All right.
Now, what we basically did, you were hunkered down. I took the whole head to tail platform. I raised you up a little bit, and then I shifted your weight until we felt you were perfectly balanced. Does that all make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, are you on the ball?
Not really.
Okay, raise your head and shoulders a little higher off the ground. Now leave the ball on the ground. There you go. Now just come down to it without pushing down on the football. Okay. Now I want you to try tilting the ball just a bit. See if we can reduce the scrape. Give it a throw.
No.
Okay, maybe that's not our solution. One more time. I think the solution is just making your head and shoulders a little higher off the ground at the end of the day, okay? You like to put that ball out and up a touch, okay? Basically what it is this. It's a 2-point stance, bend over at the waist so you can reach out to the football. Don't ever lean down on it. Get you solid on your feet. Okay, give it a throw. Let's see what happens. Not bad. Does it feel okay?
Yeah.
Or not? You kind of have a weird grimace on your face, so I'm not sure.
No, that actually felt pretty good.
Okay, I got bugs on me. Let me see one more ball there, Jake. Thanks. Let's three-step you one more time, make sure you're looking really good, but that's really what we need to do to get you fundamentally sound. Get you balanced, give you some operating room, okay, and then just get after it. Don't be afraid of throwing hard, okay? You can be aggressive in this position just like you would in any other football position. Excellent. Now, the last thing I noticed there is sometimes you kind of leave planet Earth. Let's try to point those toes and stay in contact with the ground, kind of like dodging an inside pitch. There's more stability on the center, a lot less likelihood of getting off balance in one direction or the other.
All right.
Any questions?
No.
Okay, you're looking good. Let's rotate you back in the group. Feed the balls to the gallery, okay? You rolling, Jeremy?
Yep.
Okay, making sure you're balanced, not too weight forward. Move the ball over a little to relax that shoulder. Give it a good hard all-body throw with 2 hands. Excellent. Again, raise the front, get the knees over the toes for balance, handed throw, come through nice and strong. You dragged it, but not bad. Feel good?